Welcome to Blade HQ, everybody. Today we are back from Blade Show Atlanta 2025, and we're going to show off our hauls.
We are. We have both got a bunch of really awesome stuff, and I think first off, we just want to thank the brands, the people, the designers, the makers, everyone that we met that made it possible for us to learn these knives, touch these knives. We're very grateful for that, obviously, and we made some really cool relationships this week.
And to Blade Magazine for setting up an awesome show. It's one of the highlights of our year every year.
Absolutely. But should we jump in with your stuff?
Yeah, let's do it. So first knife on my table is the Artisan Cutlery Satyr.
Let's take a look at one.
Yeah, this one is the AR RPM 9 version. I haven't really played with that steel before, so I'm really excited about this. And then it's the radial steel handle.
It looks so good. They did it on the Pyrite too. It's classy.
And I think this is one of the more slept-on designs from them. Like, it's just got a really clean look to it, and in the hand, it just feels so good.
It's very modern.
Yep, nice deep slicey blade too, with a cool little swedge along the top. It's just a fun knife. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
Might have to go and pick me up the S90V titanium version one day.
There you go. You can just level up, have all the different kinds.
Yep, all the different Satyrs.
Heck yeah.
Yep, I really like that one. Next up from the Boker booth, this is one that caught my eye quite a lot. This is the Burnley Kihon, but once upon a time, Sam, Raven the Pirate.
Yes.
Just follow him, he's a lot of fun. He took one of these and modified it to be his own into this. So he put his logo right here, and he did a flipper delete. Which I personally like. I think a thumbstud and a flipper is a bit redundant.
It is.
Sorry, hot take. I know a lot of you guys out there love both. That's just my opinion. But he deleted the flipper and then he coated it black. And they loved that mod so much that they made it real. And now it's mine.
Yeah, no, this is a sweet one. I remember we were talking to Sam, and you mentioned, you're like, oh, you went bougie with it. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I wanted to do something that spoke to me and fits his style. And if you guys know of his Instagram and his content, this knife fits his style perfectly.
Yep.
I think it's pretty sweet.
Very, like, I think like a dark, like put this against like a
moody,
like a walnut desk with a leather and maybe a glass of whiskey or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
Love this guy. S35VN, I plan to carry it a lot. And especially because I love these little, like the stonewash in the tie. That'll just pick up scratches so beautifully.
Yeah, and I love the Raven engraved on there. It's clean.
Yeah, a nice deep engraving too.
Sweet.
Very exciting.
It's a good one.
Yep, next up, Auxiliary Manufacturing.
Oh, big fan of them right now.
Yeah, I picked this guy up mostly because I love the good coffin handle. We don't see enough of these, but my goodness, this just fits the hand, like doink. Like you are locked in there, not going anywhere.
Heck yeah.
Another thing I'll mention, this is from his new production line, so it's a 14C28 end blade on this guy.
Yeah.
This sheath is so good. Like its take up is so minimal, and what I always judge is, does it jump?
It does.
It jumps, and what that means is once you break that, it's in your hand, you're ready to go. And I think for a self-defense style knife, that's a really cool thing, but I could see this being an excellent EDC fixed blade.
It is, and I will say with his stuff, it is so different. I mean, obviously his handle style with that coffin look, you don't really see that on a lot of other designs. And so I think, especially pairing it with that really intense Bowie, it makes it so amazing and just stands out compared to everything else.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll have to go pick up one of his customs.
There you go.
Because I'm in love with this handle.
I was at his table just admiring everything, and I was like, dang, he does good work.
Yeah, he had some with a new material called Grip-Tech I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Where it's like a resin with little bits of rubber in it, and then he bead blasts it so the resin goes away, but the rubber sticks out.
Yeah, it like pops through the other material. It was wild.
Super grippy. Loved that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Next up, this might be the most bizarre thing I've seen at the show, but I've been dinking around with it.
Oh my God, what is that?
So this is
That's crazy.
The Toler tools. It's a multi-tool of some variety. This is unlike any multi-tool I've ever seen before.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it has probably also more functionality than any multi-tool I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So you can open it up, and then you hit this little lever right here to open it up all the way.
Okay.
If you want access to the flat. And then this right here is a ratcheting wrench.
Oh, wow. That's sweet.
And I went and tried it on a pretty dang big bolt yesterday. I'm like,
it works?
I'll be darned, it works.
Heck
It
yeah,
ratchets, it tightens and everything.
That's so awesome.
And then on this side, you have pliers, but I hear people say like, but that's so huge. What are you gonna do? Well, what you do is you roll these plier heads out, you pop this thing,
oh my God,
it comes
what?
apart. Yep.
It's like a transformer. What is happening?
Yep, and then you have bit storage in the handle right here, and then a folding knife blade if you so desire.
That's amazing.
And then you have a bunch of different places to mount bits, but it also comes with a little bit extender just built into the tool.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Man, that thing's like everything it's like an entire toolbox in your pocket.
Yeah, and I was talking to the guy, and he was like an architect kind of person who went and eventually pursued engineering, which is super cool. But what he was showing me is like you can pinch a bolt on this side and ratchet it down. So if you have free flowing stuff, which I know a lot of knives do, but I don't imagine this is probably the tool for those, unless you got a really big bolt on your knife. But you can do that with the same multi-tool, keep them separate, put them together. Like
that's amazing. It's genius, to be honest.
Yep, and then of course you have a saw, a file, a reamer just in the handle here.
Wow.
And I'm just amazed at how minimal he managed to make everything and how simple yet amazingly complicated this thing is.
I was gonna say, sure, it probably wasn't easy getting all these things in one place. But then it looks like there's also a pocket clip, so if you don't want the sheath or little carry pocket, you don't have to use that.
Yep, and this other side has a pocket clip too, because he said what he was thinking is if you're a tradesman or something, you can separate them and put them both in your pockets.
Okay, that's genius. That's sweet.
Yeah, like a very interesting tool, and I'd never seen anything like it before, and I'm very excited to see what Toler Tools makes of it, because...
Yeah. Well, I feel like you're also the perfect person to have that. Because you love your arc so much, but now you can mess with this and compare and contrast and everything.
Yep, and then it comes with a nice little leather sheath and snaps. Sweet. So, very interesting. I keep an eye on this brand, everybody. Yeah. Like, say what you will of multi-tools. I know a lot of you guys out there would rather just have dedicated tools and a dedicated knife.
Right.
But these people are thinking out of the box.
Heck yeah.
And I love to see that.
I like that a lot.
Yep, next up, I got a Microtech Ultratech ZBP with the 0 forks.
Yeah, you did. You got the black version.
Yep, the black version. Sweet. Nice and smooth action, 0 blade play, also lots of fun. Yeah, and the 0 forks campaign was just so much fun. I had to explain it to a lot of people.
I know. But people are probably confused still.
Yep, my go-to joke is, this is what Big Fork did to me.
Oh God, you're gonna steer them in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, but mostly we're trying to say that forks are the worst and that knives are the best, and you should prioritize knives over forks.
Yeah, and to that point, we will be doing some more 0 forks content to kind of explain it a little bit more for you guys. I know we kind of threw it in everyone's face, but it's super cool, I promise.
Yep. The next up, I've got a bit of a bougie one. We have a Damascus steel on the thumb stud Warncliffe Pyrite from CJRB. I believe it's actually a Pyrite-Light,
right? Yeah,
with the FRN handle.
That's sweet.
Nice and light, but nice and fancy.
I've never seen a Damascus blade on the light, so they definitely kind of went all out with that one.
Yeah, I think it might have been a show special. I could be wrong. Russell, if you're watching, tell me how I'm wrong. But yeah, I like this one a lot. Reversible pocket clip, and who doesn't love a good Damascus blade?
I know. We talk about the Pyrite way too much on this channel, but it deserves all the love, and the Pyrite-Light is even obviously more lightweight and throw it in your pocket. That's dope, George.
Yep, love it. And the last one, this one's kind of fun. I got it in a trade with Miranda at Buck. So Miranda, if you ever go on a tour of the Buck factory, she's the one who'll take you around. Yeah. She's short, she's spunky, a lot of fun. And this is the knife. I traded her a Iridium Desert Warrior.
Oh.
And this is what she gave me. This is the new Stockman. I'm trying to remember the number. It's on the tank stamp. 301.
Nice.
So this one is USA made, which I love. Ebony handle scales, and this ebony looks really cool. It has like streaks in it.
Yeah, it's like different strains of wood. That's sweet.
Yeah, maybe it's like heartwood versus sapwood. Maybe, I don't know ebony. I'm sure some botanist in the comments will tell me what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yep, and then brass bolsters, which to me, that combo is book.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yep, and then 420 HC blades. And what I really like here is the coping blade is nice and narrow, because sometimes on a Stockman, they stand out so much, they're like in your fingers bothering you, but here, no trouble at all.
Not bad.
So I'm totally amped.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is definitely a George knife. Mm-hmm. So that's sweet that you traded for it, especially. Yes. That's awesome.
I really like this one. Thanks, Miranda. You're the best.
That's awesome.
Yep. All right, what you got?
All right. Well, I'll start with auxiliary as well. I guess I'll switch the order here. I picked up one of his folders.
Okay.
And so it's another production line. He's taking the pocket Bowie and turning it into a folder. So this says M390 blade steel, the same intense swept Bowie blade with that same coffin handle, but this is titanium with a carbon fiber inlay. We got some jimping on the spine here. This thing was so sweet, it caught my eye immediately. I was like, I'm obsessed with that.
Sure is pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very pretty. It also came in a kind of silver titanium with a green micarta inlay as well.
Okay.
So a few options that you should see these at Blade HQ at some point. So I thought they were pretty sweet.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about this guy is, so auxiliary is known for self-defense.
Yeah.
And this has the accoutrements of self-defense that you want while still looking bougie. You got a nice grip in the handle. And what I really like is this scale sits on top of the frame here.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't move with it.
if you need to get this thing out in 5 seconds so you can process some proteins, if you catch my drift,
Oh, God.
you're going to be really grateful that your fingers aren't going to be getting in the way and causing detent issues on the frame lock.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It is. So I'm a big fan of this one. Been carrying it lately. Love it so far. I'm excited to carry it more. But then going along with auxiliary, I got your same little twin for the Pocket Bowie fixed blade. Obviously, George already talked about this. But one thing I will talk about with auxiliary is they have new branding, and I talked to Michael, who owns auxiliary. He does all the custom knife work, and he's so passionate about what he does. He's so excited to get it into more people's hands. But they have this dope branding on their box, and I wanted to show it off.
Kind of
It's
gives
like
you the
old-style traditional tattoo vibes is what he said they were going for.
looking like Tony Hawk era.
Yeah.
Looking at here.
So, I don't know. I thought it was cool. Their brand just gives a really cool vibe to it, so I was kind of drawn to those.
Yeah, and they also have a lot of passion in their work. I think that's a brand that you're going to be seeing a lot more of in the future.
I would hope so. We love their stuff. Well, next up, I guess, we'll go to this little dainty guy. This isn't anything crazy, but it's a little KNAFS Lander 6.
Yeah,
so keychain knife.
I was playing with this earlier. Is this a lockback that's just like a very small amount of take
Yeah,
up?
it's a tiny little lockback. You barely have to press it, and it'll fold right back into the handle.
Look at that, but it's truly locked.
Yeah, these are sweet.
So many keychain knives just default to being slip joints, but we like locks in this family.
I know we do, and you know what? I had to find one of these because I love my Lander so much. Well, I have the Lander 4, right? The fixed blade, the 4.
Yep, the 4.
And then I have the OG, and so I'm like, I put it next to the other ones. I'm like, oh my God, it's so small.
Yep, I love the purple though. Ben does a great purple.
Right, I know. I had to have the purple. That's my color. But yeah, I thought this would be great to throw on my keys. Nice little emergency safety knife, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, the green-eyed monster's coming out. I'm very jealous of this next one.
Yeah, so this is probably my new child right now. This is the TR3 Integrity. It's a show special. It has the abalone push button. It's got the beautiful satin hardware. We have the I can't even speak on it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
The sapphire blue blade, the amazing milled handle. It's gorgeous.
I will tell you, I think if there was a TR3 purpose built for Sarah, it was this one. This is the most Sarah TR3 I've ever seen.
I'm telling you, I saw it. Dave was so kind. He hooked me up. It's fantastic. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, it's great. And I've mentioned this before, but this thumb stud is so good.
Yeah.
So oftentimes when you're machining something, you end up making little burrs and sharp edges, and then they'll tumble to get rid of it.
Yep.
They didn't tumble here, so that there's ever so slightly bite on this thumb stud. It grips your thumb, so that way if you just land with the pad of your thumb, that's enough grip to open it up. So you're not going to end up peeling your thumbnail back for fidgeting. Like,
yeah, that would hurt.
Let's be honest, most of us knife nerds have a significantly shorter thumbnail on our dominant hand because of how much we fidget.
Studs.
But ProTech is here to save us.
It is. Yeah, this knife is so beautifully made, as we know ProTech does, and the TR3 Integrity, I think, is probably becoming my favorite knife model out there right now. So
good.
I know I had to get one of these.
Yeah.
Going back to Artisan, you had yours. I picked up the Revel and this fun little Tiffany blue.
Yeah.
You like it?
I do like it.
Fun colors.
I have the titanium S90V Revel, so I'm just going to flex a
That's
little
fine,
on you.
whatever.
But this one's still cool. It's got the button lock, and I believe it's the same button lock they use in the Pyrite, yeah?
I think so, but yeah, it's super smooth. As you guys know, with Artisan and CJRB, they do awesome button lock stuff, thumb stud with the Pyrite, the Echo, whatever it might be. But yeah, I loved the color on this. I like this kind of FRN polymer handle they got going on. It keeps it nice and lightweight.
It also makes sure the color doesn't fade, and you can get really vibrant colors that'll last forever.
Yeah, and this one I actually can. Spidey flick. So this thing's pretty sick.
It's like you've been carrying it a little bit.
I know, I have. I've been trying to carry one a day since we got back.
You're not even halfway through though.
I know. But next up, this one is probably one of my other, they're all my favorite. I'm going to say it for everyone. But this is a Knives by Nuge Wicket, and this has a beautiful textured micarta handle, a Nitro V blade, with a nice flat grind. This thing is so cool. It has like a tumbled texture or tumbled finish on the blade. And then I threw a little leather lanyard on it this morning. I need to get a bead on it.
Yeah, I think that leather and the green micarta. And are these copper pins?
Yes, copper pins.
Yeah, that's just a really good looking combo right there.
It is. I love it. It's very earthy, very natural, and it comes with this really cool Kydex sheath that has a topographic pattern on it with this really crazy retention clip. That thing refuses to come out of my pocket, so I'm a big
Discreet
fan.
carry does a great job there.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. So if this sheath holds the knife pretty deep.
Yeah.
So like you just have a little nub into the handle sticking out, but the Wicket is so small. Does this work in women's pockets?
Yeah, I do. This is the first
goodness.
knife I carried when I got back from the show, and it was sitting in my pocket really well.
That's
which is
awesome.
Probably the reason
you.
I was drawn to it was the size.
Yeah, like deep carry, pocket, fixed blade for women is a very rare combo, but I'm glad you found one because I know you've been super into those lately.
I have, but yeah, Tom over at Knives by Nuge, he's the one that makes all of them. He does fantastic work. I love his stuff. You can't pick these up at Blade HQ, maybe in the future, but definitely check out his stuff on his own channels.
Yeah, Knives by Nuge is like a lot of companies out there where they make such good stuff and they put so much effort into it that the amount they make and the demand they have is so much that they don't need to deal Blade HQ into the equation.
Exactly.
But maybe someday when he makes more, give us a call, Tom. We love you, man.
Heck yeah. No, he does great work. And then up next, I picked up one of these Worksharp remixes, or the RMXs.
Dude, these were hot. People were all over them.
I know, and obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but Worksharp isn't doing any dealer selling with this, so you can only buy it direct as of now. So I picked up the reverse Tonto, and I did turn it into an auto. So with these ones, if you haven't heard of them or seen them yet, it has this really cool magnesium handle. This is a 3V blade on this one. And then you can actually swap out the pivots to turn it into an auto from a manual. So it comes as a manual. You can just flick it open with the button, but then you can actually take out the pivot collar and all the internals and make it an auto. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the one thing I really admire about this is they went with 3V for its toughness so that you could get so incredibly thin with the blade. This thing is going to be a slicing monster.
I know, it is so thin. Just looking at the back of it, I was like, I'm kind of scared of this because it's so lightweight that you feel like there's really not much in your hand, but it's a knife, like you can put this to work, and that's what Worksharp wants you to do.
So if you ever get a chance to hold one of these, you're going to be astonished by how lightweight it is.
Yeah.
And one thing I will mention is a lot of people are concerned about the magnesium alloy on these. I was talking to Kyle at the booth because I'm a bit of a nerd.
Yeah.
And I was like, so tell me about this magnesium. And he says, well, it's a magnesium alloy. There's a little bit of extra stuff in there. Magnesium is the king, is the belle of the ball, if you will. But because of the other stuff in it that makes it bond with other things, it's not going to be flammable like the magnesium on your ferro rod.
Okay.
It's going to be a bit different.
That's cool. But yeah, this thing's wild. They have holes in the back of the integral, and it makes it super lightweight. And there obviously are no liners or anything in there. So it's literally just the casing for the handles and then the blade, and that's it.
How hard was the auto conversion?
It was so easy. They give you a little pan flit, and you literally just pop out the pivot, and then you replace it with a different one, and then it's done. Like the springs in there, you just turn it with a little tool, and it's done. So that's
I'll tell you, assembling autos, especially integral autos, is absurdly difficult normally.
It is
but
hard.
this one made it nice and easy.
Yeah, well, that's why I think it's great for someone who's trying to learn. Do I like manuals or autos? And then you can mess with both, and it's super intuitive.
Yeah, a really awesome first knife, Worksharp.
Heck yeah. Well, George, I got the counterpart to your ZBP.
Yeah.
I picked up the, I'm pretty sure they're calling it an antique wash, or apocalyptic wash on the blade and the slide. This thing's so cool. Obviously, another one of the limited runs from our Zero Forks campaign. You guys will see more of these soon if you didn't see them at Blade Show. There's tons of cool stuff with that. But yeah, my first Microtech, first Ultratech, and I don't think I could have been treated better with a ZBP. So this thing is fantastic.
I'll tell you, Zero Blade play.
It's so good.
What a thing to have.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah, that was a cool piece of the collection. And then last up, I got a Blade Show special Guardian Tactical 025. Little pocket OTF.
Did you own any OTFs before this party?
I didn't, and I came back with two.
Two of them,
Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this one is so fidgety, though.
It is, I know. I've just been sitting there, and I would do it with the Microtech, but I'm like scared to touch it because it's so limited.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the Cerakote.
I need to hide it. But yeah, this one, so fidgety, smooth action, nice little blade. And I believe the Show special is that they never do this milled texturing on the handle with the drop point.
Huh.
So I want to say that's why it was the Show special, but they were on a great deal on it, and I'm like, I have to pick one up. I've always admired the O25s. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that one's sweet.
It's really awesome.
And then, just some food for thought. JRW hooked me up with these sweet Curator trays. So it's like this, I don't even know what material, like a polymer, rubber, plastic, but it's like a cool little gear tray. So if you got your knives, you can just display them in there at your desk, do whatever you want, put your gear in there.
Yeah.
So that's sweet.
JRW is a really fun brand because, so the Curator is there. I mean, I don't dare call it a challenge coin. I think he calls it pocket art.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and this is just a blown up version. So the pocket art aspect has these little pyramids that you can play with, and it usually has a celebration engraving on the back. Like we had a fancy solar eclipse at Blade Show West a couple years ago, and so he had the eclipse engraved on the back. But here, he just turned that into a giant gear tray. So you can have all the JRW you ever wanted and also show off the rest of your cool stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, those little Curators are crazy, though. I mean, they're like solid titanium. They're perfectly milled, and he does all these different themes and stuff. But yeah, they sell out in an instant. So I was like, I'll take one of these instead. Yeah, I see those people lining up for Blade Show like the day or two before. There's a good chance there's some of them in there who are going to beeline it straight to JRW. It's true. Well, shout out JRW for hooking us up with one of these. We'll have to use it for our gear. Yeah, it really pops. Really sick. And then I thought this was cool. I wanted to show this off. So a small maker, his name's Aaron. He runs a brand called 52 Graves. It's like a bunch of cool little EDC stuff. He does, this is called a death cookie. So again, it looks like an Oreo. I know, it's like the same rubbery polymer. Don't know the exact material they made it out of, but he has like a bunch of different colors. He actually makes a full titanium death cookie. Oh my goodness. Where he mills out the top caps, and then the inside is like a colored ring that you can swap the colors for. And he's like, oh yeah, it's a death cookie. You throw it in a sock, you could kill someone with it. I said, okay. I was like, I'll just take one of these instead. But, these little ones. His brand's cool. I feel like he's kind of flying under the radar, but I met up with him. Cool guy. Has some cool stuff. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Blade Show is there's a lot of like really small new makers who are there to make a name for themselves. Yeah, for sure. And a lot of the big names that you know and love, like ProTech, Benchmade, Spyderco, a lot of them were born on little tables at Blade Show. Yeah, everyone starts somewhere. Now they run that town. Yeah, it's sweet. But yeah, again, thank you so much to everyone who either hooked us up with something, helped us make the purchase. All of it, we are very grateful, and we hope we can keep sharing the love. Yeah, and if you bump into us at a Blade Show in the future, come say hello. We love seeing you guys, and we just love knives. Heck yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Blade HQ content, and we will see you next time.